lose these couple.
Well, hey, y'all, we're so excited tonight. Welcome. This is our fourth night on. So I guess now we're family. So welcome, family.
Welcome.
We're excited. We're ready to get started. We're going to do a part two on trauma, just trauma informed. We're just going to talk about some trauma and some of the things we talked about last night. I mean, the last night that we were on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, I'm Roberta, the tool lady. And
Jackie, the wellness advocate.
I'm Jay with the ish.
And we bringing fire, y'all. You know what? Last weekend, last Monday, we had such a topic that it was so hot and it got a little steamy. So I even had to wear a hat tonight. You hear me? I didn't even want to get dressed because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have to jump in or what, you know?
Don't let my edges lift up, y'all. I just put this on, but I'm with it. I'm with all of it. I'm with all the ish.
Right. That's who
y'all got y'all.
Oh, yes. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it. Well, so we're just gonna start off. I just wanted to say it is Pride Month. We almost missed it, y'all, but we love y'all just the same. You part of this family as well. Like I said, now we can hit it on our fourth. So, baby, you know, we spilled the tea and we sipped the wine. So we do a little bit of all of it, but we want you just to what I advise you is the tool lady, get your little piece of paper and pencil, jot down some things as we talking, because some things, you know, may be helpful. You may know someone who's in some of these situations. We never know, but we want to be helpful. We want to be a help to you. We want to be helpful. So we just hope that we are and we are entertainment, because we are you know, all three of us are something else, and it's one more of us, you know, we are power packed, I tell you that. So I'm gonna get started. Like I said, last week we talked about a sobering topic, and it was so quick that it just hit a lot of people. It hit a lot of people. We talked about trauma, and the whole deal came to me just because we are young, we are just starting, and we are talking about mental health, and we want to talk about mental health. We want to make it the way that giant ain't standing over us or in front of us no more. Because a lot of times, as Jay said, look, I'm talking now. You know, we're gonna talk about it. We're getting ready to get this out here, right?
Yes.
And then we talked about the in our communities, right? And I've talked, bounced the ideal off on different people, and different people like, you know what, Roberta, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about how it has affected us. We don't talk about childhood drama or trauma. We don't talk about generational trauma. So I had connected both of them together if you missed it. So basically, what I was just talking about, how trauma is different, it's different ways. Because sometimes you'll be like, you know what, Roberta, nothing has ever happened to me like that. I had a good family. I went to church. Let's say that, because we are a people of color here. So that's our main go-to. We went to church, right?
Amen.
And everything was good. But is that always right? It ain't always right.
You better say it, because they think it's right. They think it's always right to go say what they got to say, go to church, and think that no.
Yeah, that don't make it. That don't erase it, right? So what I was talking about is that trauma could be being basically in a house that's chaotic, a house where everybody's fighting on Monday and on Wednesday they're getting along. That's traumatic. It could be someone being incarcerated as a child and going to jail, and you did never get to process that. It just happened, right? That's trauma.
Right.
Being in a car wreck. We know about being abused, the physical, the mental, so all of those sexual, all of that, that's trauma. And then the other one is, I kind of let you all know that being people of color, basically, that's how I came to it. There's always been some type of trauma with our background. When you talk about slavery, although all of us was not slaves, right? All of our ancestors were not slaves. Some of them were free, but at the same time, they had to face when these people were enslaving the same people that looked just like them. So then they had to run too. So and then not to only mention some of the things or the atrocities that happened with slavery, or some of the atrocities that happened with migration. When we talk about all of the people of color, when we talk about how we're treated, all of those things are trauma. So, right. So yes, we need to discuss this. Let's get it out here. Let's get it out here. It seems like somebody already know about it, right? That's the
Yeah.
ACEs. I used to work inpatient mental health, so
Mhm.
that's exactly how we score. Outpatient too, but the thing is, we all adults now. So there's adults that don't even know that we need to be working on this trauma. We don't even know why we react certain ways when we hear certain noises, or when certain people do certain things, why we alternate back into being either quiet, we retreat, we
Mhm.
run, you know, or we fight, right? And
Right.
what Jay said, hey, I was about it. I was ready to
Mhm.
fight by the time,
Right.
I got grown. I got
Mhm.
grown, and I didn't even know why I was ready to fight. It's
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
because in
trauma.
survival mode, that's
That's
that
right.
survival mode. Either
Exactly.
you fight, flight, or freeze.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Hmm.
So that's what we know. That's how we cope with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I've caught everybody up. I
Yeah.
hope that you
Yeah.
wheels is turning, and you thinking, because the whole thing is hey, start talking about it. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to break down the barriers. We want to get this out here. We want to talk about it. We
That's
want
good.
families to get healthy out here.
That's
We
good.
want to be
Yes.
functional. Right now, I'm gonna hand it on over to Jackie, and she gonna go ahead and take us on in.
Let's
Yeah.
get it.
Yep. So today we're gonna be talking about trauma and how it affects your relationships. So it challenges your sense of safety and security in the world. So that's pretty much what perceiving everything and everyone as a threat. And you start creating walls up, right? Um, and that also has to do with how you see yourself as well. So, like I just mentioned, that fight, flight, and freeze. Um, so I think I do a lot. I know what I do is I do a lot of fight. Like my defenses go right up, and I
Mhm.
want to. I start to perceive what the other person may be thinking, and um, and that's not okay. You can't assume what someone else is going to say or do when it hasn't even happened yet, just based off of maybe just a conversation or something they said or did triggered you. So you have to watch that. So the fighting is actually physically fighting, um, and raging at someone, blaming them for all of your problems, expressing content, being controlling or demanding, and not letting the little things go. So though this, I already want to touch on that, not letting the little things go. It's there's small things that you can easily let go of and not let them take over everything, right? So yeah, and then we got the flight. So the flight is just completely avoiding the situation, right? We're just gonna avoid it and we're just gonna let it be. And we know that that's not okay because it's still there. It's still lingering. You may not be talking about it, but it's there. You're thinking about it. Subconscious, it's there because it's there. And panicking and acting impulsively, right? Running away from intimacy or emotional situations. So that's not allowing someone to love you or to even show you any type of affection. You're perceiving it as, because maybe you've never really had that before, so you're like, whoa, what is this? And you just try to avoid that whole situation. And the freeze, the feeling helpless, feeling unable to act, or shutting down and disconnecting from that person. It can be your partner, it can be a family member, your friend, so you just completely shut out. So what do y'all, I want to hear what y'all got to say about that.
All right.
Okay. Which Roberta, you want to go ahead and handle that, or do you want me to go ahead and shoot it?
Well, you know what, Jay? I'm gonna go ahead and say something. I think
Go
just being
ahead.
honest, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's a hard road to go on, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because for me, my coping skills is, well, it used to be to fight. So then so many things just kept happening, because we all know when when you occurred, trauma has occurred in your life, most likely you're going to be trauma. It's going to happen again. It's going to
Right.
continue to reoccur. So now my deal is I shut down. So that's even harder, because now, like, like you just said, Jackie, I still have it inside. So I still have to figure out, well, man, and I still feel like, wow, you could have said this, or this could have happened. I still try to play it out. But because of that freeze and feeling helpless, it overtakes me.
Mhm.
So that's just my experience with it. So it's a tough one. So I'm gonna hand it over to you, Jay.
All right. Me go ahead and take my little sip. See, my intake on it is that the reason why we shut down. What's the reason why we shut down? What's the reason why we don't express ourselves? That's because the other party. Okay. So I typically I try to start a conversation on understanding and responding. So therefore, like, if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I try to understand where that person is coming from instead of just reacting. Okay. So, and then also you got to understand that when you start a conversation with nothing but negativity, like, for example, like, so I'm tired of you fussing at me. I'm tired of you doing this. I'm tired of you doing that. That person not gonna receive that information correctly. Okay. So that's foremost. Okay. So it's kind of like acknowledging that person, like what they have done, and try to take the positive out of something. So if you communicating with somebody, you want to start out with nothing but positive, because how you start that conversation is how that conversation is going to end. So if you start it on a bad note, it's going to pretty much end on a bad note. So you want to always try to like start something off with positive, like, hey, I'm just letting you know that I'm here to listen. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to understand what you trying to tell me or what you have to say. Okay. And then you go into how you feel. So then it kind of like get the person in tune with what you are saying. So I used to always be like, man, I'm shutting down, but I'm like, no, okay, I need to find another route to this, because I'm going to continue to linger on this feeling. I don't have time to linger on this feelings because I got other things that I have to do. So I try to understand that person. And then I try to, get their point of view. And then I try to provide my point of view. So we got to, listen and communicate to understand, not to respond or react. That's the first and foremost. And start the conversation positive instead of in a negative way.
I like
Mhm.
that.
But yeah, but it's the trauma, right, that'll make someone to act defensive, right? Because they haven't dealt with that trauma. So even if like I was to go to talk to someone because something happened, right? And I want to address the issue. That person, because of them not dealing or trying to cope with what has happened, that trauma, they're always going to be defensive. That's going to be their response. They're going to think that you're attacking them and you're coming for me. The whole world is against me. And that's just the way, unfortunately, that the individuals with trauma perceive it, perceive everything. Like everyone and everything is, they're out to get me. So I always have to have this wall of this, be defensive. um so it, and I think that's good, right, to say let's talk about it, but you have to be sure, again, you come at them the right way, like, hey, I'm coming here with good intentions and I
Right.
just want to talk. Let's just talk about it, let's set the tone. And if either of us try to, get spicy, get mad, get angry, start cussing at each other, that's the sign that, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back and we're gonna talk about this later. And I'm gonna walk away. And of course, he'll have, what? Don't walk away. Why are you walking away? No, we'll talk later because nothing good is gonna come out of this, situation. And it's not easy. It is not that easy. It really isn't. And it comes with time, right? Depending who that other person is it your significant other? Is it a friend? Is it a family member? I know for me personally, with my husband, it took, I want to say, maybe a solid almost 2 years to find that communication, to ensure that we're not badgering each other or calling each other names and things like that. And it's hard. Even to this day, it's still hard not to do it, but we can recognize it and say, you know what, I should not have said that, and I'm sorry. But we'll do that, would be the next day to say, because that day he's hot, I'm hot, and it's nothing good gonna come out of it. But again, it isn't easy. It takes time. It takes learning that skill to just say, you know what, no, check yourself. It's that inventory check of yourself as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good, Jackie.
Yeah.
That's good.
That
That's
is.
good, girl. You did. Girl.
Well, I think Jay, you challenged us to look at ourselves the last our last episode. So you did say, look at the person in the mirror, because a lot of times, and I'm gonna just go ahead and take it all the way there, generational.
Take it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we've learned behavior, and that behavior has to be, we first of all, we got to know that some learned behavior that's not working for us, that we can challenge. Okay, that didn't work for mama, that didn't work for grandma, so we need to challenge that. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
model of what relationships I want to have. I
Yeah.
don't want to be cussing everybody out, because we got folk in our family cuss everybody out, and then next day it's like they ain't said a word.
Right.
But that's not how we want to. We don't want to live our lives like that. It's too traumatizing, right? But
Yes.
the deal is that it's knowing, because what's not normal, we get to thinking it's normal.
Right.
Sometimes you be around people, they say things, you be like, that's not really right. Or even for yourself, you like, I can't tell nobody else this stuff, because you know deep down inside, it's got to be another way. It's just
Mm-hmm.
You
got to.
know what? For you parents, if you raising your kids the way you was raised, go ahead and cut it out. Don't do it, because the generation changes. The generation changes. And I hear a lot that a parent always say, I know what's best for you. No, you don't. We're going to go ahead and take that out. No, no. Remember, you can learn from your kids. You can.
Yes.
Generations have changed. You
Mm-hmm.
can learn from your kids. Don't silence your kids because the way your parents treated you. Don't come over here bringing your trauma and what you had with your mama over here and trying to teach me something and handle me no any kind of way, because that's what your kids gonna get the walking. Okay.
Mhm.
And you're going to wonder why they walking. But this is the reason why they walking, because you sitting here and you trying to do what's best for them, and you trying to tell them, hey, this is how you doing. Okay, well, you're gonna fail if you don't do it this way. You're gonna fail if you don't do it that way. No, stop telling your what, that's negative. Your kids is gonna look at that as you being negative, and you supposed to be my mom, and you telling me that I'm going to fail. No, that hits deep. That hurts
Mhm.
coming from a mom to say, if you don't do it my way, you're gonna fail.
Mhm.
No, that's not how you talk to your kids.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What you mean I'm gonna fail? Wow. Yeah, it is wow. Your kids gonna look at you, wow. It's coming from my mama. My mama telling me
Mhm.
this. Somebody that birthed
Right.
me,
Mhm.
somebody that tell me every day they want the best for me, but they sitting here telling me that I'm going to fail.
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
None at
What
all.
sense that? So you know what? You just silenced me. You just
Mhm.
told me to shut up and do what you want me to do. So I can sit here and make the same mistakes that you made, since I'm walking in what you telling me to do. Like, that does not make sense. Help me. Does that make sense to y'all? I
It
Make it
hope
make
don't.
it
And
don't.
that's right. It doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, Jay, the other thing is if you're learning that at home, okay, so the first person that believe in you, guess what you gonna do? You gonna latch on to them. They believe in me. The folk at my house don't believe in me. You believe in me, so I'm finna latch on. And it may not be the best influence. You know, that's how we get gangs. That's how we get toxic relationships. And
Yeah.
people like, well, how did such and such get it? Well, because basically at home, that foundation was somewhere not together. Like you said, you
Right.
were doubting me. You taught me self doubt.
Mhm.
So how else would I know if
So
somebody else?
right.
Hmm.
And right, just so I won't forget this, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a perfect example why your kids should not follow in your footsteps and why you should not tell your kids to fail. Okay. So I was told that if you don't do it this way, I know what's best for you. If you just listen to mom, I know what's best. I got you. Trust me, you're gonna turn out great. Okay. So I was rebellious, you know? So I'm like, no, mm-mm. I don't want to do it your way, you know? So what I did was went out to college, hey, got me a boo thing, got me that boo. And he was like, yeah, your mama tripping. She don't know what she talking about. So I'm like, oh, okay. See, you understand me. So he understand me. He listening to me.
Mhm.
And so now he got me where I'm vulnerable. He got me where, I'm not listening to my mama. So now I done moved in with him. I'm listening to him. Now I'm minding him. Now I don't even have a mind of my own. This how a lot of times your daughters is getting trapped behind these nothing mans. You hear me? They
That's
get trapped behind these nothing mans because you should have stood there and said, you know what? I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to step in as your mother. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to be there. And you tell me what road you want to go on, and I will follow your lead. And I'm going to just give you my opinion, my advice, and you can take it. But instead of just saying that, oh, you're going to fail, because if your kids can't confine in you, trust me, they don't confine in somebody else.
Mhm.
So you got to be careful on what you tell your kids. You don't want nobody else raising your kids. You
right.
don't want no man raising your kids,
Or no woman.
or no
I
woman raising
I've
your
seen
kids.
I've seen women with muscles
What?
all up here whooping the heck out of the man and the kids.
Okay.
Had the
I mean,
man and the kids scared.
man,
So
you
it
do
goes
not want
it goes
nobody
both kind of way.
manipulating. Do
Right.
not you do not want nobody manipulate. Because
Right.
trust me, I was manipulated. I
Mhm.
had to, and it's really hard to get out of. It really is hard, you know. So you really got to be, your kids got to be strong minded. If you know your kid's not that strong minded of a person, then no, you got to do better with the way you talking to them and how you handling them and things like that, because they're gonna say, look, mom, I need you to back off, and I'm gone. And they're gonna leave and they're gonna get their own place and all of that. And then you're gonna be like, well, how you gonna do all that? You know? How you gonna get money to, you bought your what? Do you know a card note costs this? You know, if you don't pay the credit and all this, oh, so let me fail. Okay, because that's how I learn. I'm not gonna learn with you always catching me every time I fall.
Yeah.
You know, because all
Yeah.
it's gonna do is just push me away from you, and it's
Right.
gonna be like, okay, so now I'm 30, now I'm 40, and I've been living up to my mom's expectation instead of my own. What's then your child gonna feel like, what's my identity? I don't even
Worth
know who I am.
worthless.
It's
Yeah.
me.
Worthless.
Like, who am I? Because my mom been telling me what to do. So now when you find that husband, and your husband here, you say, oh, let me call my mom and see what she got to say about it. He gonna be like, yo, mom, what kind of woman is you? But your mom handicapped you.
Right. But
She
I
wasn't
got one better than that, Jay. Your mama didn't have no man. I'm just saying you never seen your mama in a healthy relationship. So how you gonna do it?
Yep.
Roberta,
Yep.
say it, girl.
Definitely.
Girl, my edges done lifted up. Oh Lord.
So, yep. So single parent, single. It can be even a dad or a mom, right? Single mom or
Yeah,
single dad,
that's
whomever. You are the example to your kids. Your kids are looking up to you. Your kids are looking and seeing what you're doing, and they're taking that in, and they're thinking, oh, it must be okay,
Right,
right? Because this is what my mom or my dad is accepting as okay, so that's what I'm going to accept as okay when I'm older and I
right,
look for a partner. So you really have to, parents, be sure that you are setting a good example. um Talking to them, right? I'm gonna go back to that because that definitely has a lot to do with a child's self-worth and their believing in themselves
right,
to be capable and able to do different things once they're older. Even as kids, able to do their homework, able to do their project, what have you, able to build relationships, friendships.
mm-hmm.
Kids are start building friendships. They're starting to build relationships, and they're gonna accept what they think is okay based off of what they're seeing the adults do.
right.
Right,
Right. The pleasing. They want to be people pleasing. If it's an addictive family, they want to please. They feel
Hmm.
like they're a failure if they can't please you. So a lot of codependency. They're actually living off that other person.
right,
How they feel, what they think of them. you know and we all know life is 80-20 anyway,
right,
meaning 80% could be wrong, 20% could be right. So everybody ain't right all the time, and everybody ain't wrong all the time. So just knowing the difference. But when you come from such a traumatic background, you don't, and your relationships do suffer. They suffer tremendously.
yes, I totally agree.
That's good.
I like it. I like that. And another thing is, don't be afraid to talk to your kids. A lot of times parents hold back. Like, I remember someone told me like, oh, I didn't want to tell my child that I got my GED because I want her to get her high school diploma. What?
That was still a success. That was still an
Right,
achievement.
right, right, right.
But you got your GED, you went to 2 year college, and then you went to a university, and then you got your RN license, and then you had your family. You didn't see your success?
Right.
Hmm.
Like, all because you think a high school diploma is better than a GED?
Right.
It's about the route and the outcome of the situation.
Mhm.
It's not about your GED. It's not about your high school diploma. It's about the route you choose and the outcome that come afterwards. I'm I remember when my mom opened up to me and when my dad opened up to me about it, actually I was able to relate to certain things because I felt like if if my mom and my dad would have told me this sooner, I wouldn't have made the same mistakes that they made.
Right.
Like I was like, that I've been through the same thing you've been through. He talking about some for real? Yes. Well, I wish you would have told me. I wouldn't have told you, No, I just want you to talk to me.
Yeah.
Just talk to
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
Don't just look at me like, oh, you my child, I can't tell you certain things. You can it's an appropriate way to talk to your kids, to
Yeah.
explain things without really just going into depth and details with it.
Yeah.
So talk to your kids. I guarantee you want to stop a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So especially
Yeah.
when they going off to college, because baby, that's a whole nother world and that's a whole nother ball game. And you not there, and you not there to protect them. But what is there to protect them is the knowledge, and you talking to your kids, not telling them what to do, but them hearing your voice of you saying, hey, you know college is this. All I'm saying is you live your best life, but be careful of the okey dokes that's out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then your kids, I guarantee your kids gonna hear that. Oh no. So when they see it, no, this the pig, this the bullshit my mama was telling me about. No, I'm not having this.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think too, I want to include just not college, but this life period. Because everybody goes through a different walk. So I think if we all just embrace our journey a little bit different and not really just looking at somebody else's journey, but our journey, and then like you said, having that support system. I see what I found, a lot of people don't have that support to even go to college. Some people don't even have that support to go to high school. You know what I'm saying? So the support is lacking because of some things that, like we're talking about, trauma. I've even heard parents tell their kids not to go to college, or you ain't gonna be nothing. You're gonna be just like your grandpa. You're gonna be just like your daddy, you know. And so I think going back to at least knowing to open the communication, at least knowing you need to be positive because you are planting seeds, and it's not seeds that just for childhood. Because like Jay said last time, I've been quiet a long time,
Right.
but I'm finally talking about it. So this
Exactly.
has been a long time coming, and this is how it affects children on into adulthood. All of us are affected by some type of trauma form, you
Exactly.
know. And then, like I said, then we told, okay, just go ahead and pray about it. It's okay. No, that's not right.
Mm-mm.
That's not right at all. We
Right.
don't have to do better. I
Yeah.
think I think we deserve to do better. And for our children, children's children, it's always good to challenge it, challenge our morals, our value system. If it didn't work out right for us, then yeah, that's right. Sweeping
Yeah.
it under
No
the rug.
more sweeping it under the rug.
No,
Definitely.
Yeah.
no.
I
Yeah.
know my Yeah, I know my mom, she didn't do that at all. My mom had me when she was 15. My grandmother had her when she was 15, and my great grandmother had my grandmother when she was 15. So it was like a generational curse, we called it. And finally, I'm the one that broke it. But she said it how it was, how it is, and told me everything. Even if my dad, being that he's from El Salvador, different type of mindset. He was, no, don't tell her that. And she's like, no, why? It's the truth.
Right.
This is what happened, and this is what I grew up with, and this is what happened to me, and this could happen to you, but tell me if something happens to you. So she broke that thing that my grandparents and her grandparents did, which was not talk about it. Like, no, you don't talk about it. No, she was like, no, we talk about it. We're going to talk about it, all of it. And I want you to understand that, yes, I went through this, but this doesn't have to be your life. And I want you to go to school. And she told me everything. I mean, when my mom, when it was that open line of communication, both of y'all said it is the communication and wanting different for your kids and their kids and the generations to come. So she set that tone with me and my brother, telling us everything how it was, not sugarcoating
Right.
things. And my mom built a friendship with us, but we knew she was still our mom. So some parents tend to be like, oh no, we're best friends, but they still don't have boundaries. They lack the boundaries for the kid to know that there are. I'm still your parent. I'm still the authority figure.
Right. Right.
Well, just always remember that's good, Jakey. Actions follow up with prayer, you know.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of times people like, okay, God will fix it. God will fix it. And then they sitting there waiting on God to fix it. No, it takes action. You got to put in the work,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
You
and then
do.
you're going to see God follow through with it. If you
Right.
want to put in religion,
Right.
get
Right.
religion with you, you know.
Right.
Just know that, you know, when you put in that work and you put in that action, you'll see God follow through. But don't hide the warning signs, because remember, God don't come to you directly. He come to you through people.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, so I always remember that.
Uh,
Well, I have,
You
y'all.
ready?
We did so good.
You ready for on the table? Let's put it on the table.
We got a message, y'all.
All right now.
Oh Lord Jesus, let me get to it. We,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try to get to quite a. I'm gonna try to get to the ones that I got. Okay. Um. Hello, Queens. My name is Shay.
Hey, Shay.
Shay, girl. I
Yes.
I listened to the podcast last week. It was very helpful and useful. Me and my daughter does not have a relationship, and we are not speaking to this day. What are you guys' advice and opinion about rekindling our relationships?
Well, Shay, what I would do, be patient, or leave communication open, hey, and be honest about it, be honest. Because sometimes in situations like we were talking before, we don't know how to be honest, and we don't know how to put our pride aside. Put your pride aside. Hey, baby, I'm worried about you. And I just want to make sure you're okay. I just want to know if you're okay. If you tell me you're okay, then I trust it. And be good with that until she comes around. Just leave that communication open. That way it'll always be okay. I can always go back. But if you close the door, then or if you as Jay was saying, if you started off one way, then it's gonna be some defensiveness. But open it, just leave it open. Every now and then shoot her a text. If you're not talking on the phone, just text her. If you got her email her. And just a simple good morning will do it. Love mama. Because love goes over everything. So just let her know you love her. I always tell my kids, it doesn't matter. Somebody here loves you. I love you, and we don't get along all the time, but I love them. So you just tell them and let them go on.
I felt that. Oh my God. I felt
All right. Jay, you got another one? What we got next, girl?
it. Jackie, you don't want to put in on it?
I think she hit on all of it.
I
Hey,
She
think
your
really
love
you
did
did.
it,
I
right?
think you did. I think you
did.
did, Ellen. You did it. Okay. The only thing I can say is time. Okay.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take a lot of time, and don't force it.
That's right.
Do not force it. Just let it happen naturally. You know, sometimes small things is big things. Okay. So even the littlest things, just checking in. Hey, not even worried about it. Just checking in, making sure you're alive. All right. Well, I'll see you later. You
Right.
know, And by the time you do that a few times, she's gonna eventually be like, "Oh, mom, hold on, wait, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm nothing, just watching dishes, cleaning up and stuff." "What you been doing?" "Nothing, just
Mm-hmm.
praying, and just hoping that we can get to where we need to get." And then you see how I slid that on in there? Like I just slid that on in there. Yeah, just hoping that man, you can get on the same page because
Or
I'm really
just I
sick.
miss you. You know, I
Yep,
miss you.
I miss you.
That's
Sometimes you
it.
can just call and just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I miss you."
Yeah.
"Mom, stop bugging." "I'm not bugging.
Yeah.
I'm not bugging." "Well, since you feel like I'm bugging, I won't call tomorrow. I'll call in the next 2 days
I just call and check on you.
just to tell you I miss you."
That's all.
"Okay." So I see you later, okay? And then when cause the thing is that you gotta put in that work because you's the reason that causes this. You rant your daughter off. You silence her. So it's now she's feeling like I'm grown now. So now she on defense mode, like, nah, so now you like, cause she's waiting for you to really just snap. She's waiting on that. See, you ain't changed, mama. You did not change.
Right.
I was just waiting on you. I was just waiting on
Right.
you to get on me. See,
Right.
that's what they waiting on. So they're gonna test you, but no, we're not gonna let them get to you like that. No, because I'm gonna tell you how to get them. No,
Yeah. That's
no,
right.
no, don't let your kids, because they're gonna test you. Because trust me, I
Mhm.
test my mama plenty of times and she failed.
Oh my God. That's funny. Well, now you know what I did because my children are all grown, and so missing them because I was missing them. That's why I said just be honest, because sometimes in pride or an argument we want to be prideful, like, oh, I don't really miss you, but I know you're gonna have a hard time, you're gonna regret, you're gonna need me before we get to talking like that. But if we can humble ourselves and tell what we really truly this what we really feel, hey, like, I miss you, I love you, you got someone out here that loves you, you know, and then I went even farther and I just said, hey, you know, hey, can we just have dinner on Sunday? Just if I can have a couple of hours of your time, that's all. You might not have time for me no other time. I understand. You got your girls, you got your
Mhm.
guys, y'all doing things, but just give me a couple hours just on a Sunday. That's all. Just meet me somewhere, have dinner. That's all I ask. So sometimes we just gotta humble ourselves and ask, and don't come like that because we gotta know they're adults too. They're adults too. So they trying to wave out their stuff too. So we got to meet them halfway. And like Jay said, we can't come with that defensiveness, or like Jackie said, that defensiveness. Oh, you trying to say it's all my fault. Well, we got to take some ownership. It's 50.
Mhm.
And we
Accountability.
did, and behavior is learned. So if you see us doing whatever, we have learned it from someone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what it is. So now we got to unlearn some stuff. We got to get healthy. We got to work on it every day. Because it alternate. We'll try to alternate too. But you can just try those tactics. Like I said, I just tell my children, "Hey, I love you. That's it."
Mhm.
And I
Learn
leave.
your kids.
Yeah.
Learn your kids. Some of these
Mm-hmm.
mothers don't even know they kids.
Right.
You been said, "Oh yeah, my daughter like this," and then when they friend looking at you like, "No, she not. She
Right.
nothing like that." And that's
Right.
so embarrassing. That's embarrassing to think you telling you go meet they friends, y'all sitting here having, yeah, I'm so proud of my daughter. My daughter do such, and then they friend looking at laughing, giggling at each other. That's so embarrassing because it's like, no, you don't. That's because you're too busy silent your kids. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have no boys, and they've been telling you the whole time they like this,
Yeah.
they like that. You know, yeah. Oh, I be seeing my son looking at them girls, boy. He be really getting them girls, but that's not what he like.
Right.
He probably like the same shit.
Right.
You might not. He, No,
And
so learn
yeah,
your kids.
and that's where that love come in. Love, just love them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love. All right, what's our next one, Jay?
Right, let's look at it. Let's get into it.
We
I like
in there. We in this thing.
it. I like it. Okay. Okay. I had them pulled all the way up, y'all. Y'all, my phone be
Okay.
blowing and all that.
Oh,
Hello, Queens. Hi.
hi.
My name is Desiree. My name is Desiree. I just have one question. Tell me what skills that I can use to redirect my child's behavior. What
Okay.
skills that I can use to redirect my child's behavior?
Okay.
I
Well,
love, I like that too. Love it.
all
What
right.
skills you can use to redirect your child's behavior? She didn't go into details about the behavior or whatever, so I'm really not for sure. But I'm gonna speak on like negative behaviors. Um, far as I just lack of communication, we can start with that one. Like if your child is not communicating with you, or they yelling, they you know, being defensive and
Or
all of that. My thing is my input on that is to listen. It goes back to what I was saying far as like listen to understand instead of listening to getting a response or reaction. So I'm going to always say that when it come down to communication, because communication is all about two people communicating. Because if y'all both not on the same page, that communication not going to go nowhere. That conversation is not going to go nowhere at all. So it's so important that you guys understand each other and get on the same page. It's not going to be what you want to hear. So stop trying to get the conversation and trying to listen to what you want to hear. That's not going to work. Listen to understand what your child is trying to tell you. It doesn't matter if you disagree or not. Like it doesn't matter if your child say, "Okay, mom, you know what? I thought about being a waitress at the strip club because I feel like it's going to give me a lot of money and all of that." Understand the reason why they want to work at the strip club. Because the only thing that you caught is that, oh no, strip club? Oh no, girl, you ain't finna work up in there. No. That's the end. No. Sit down with your kids and oh, the strip club so you can make more money. Well, you know what? You know, you know, Cigna, the insurance company, State Farm, they hiring, right? And if you do got some connection, oh well, I can call Miss Bertha. She's a good friend of mine. She's the manager at State Farms. I think it's no problem. You can bring home how much? Yeah, they make around that much. Don't tell your kids what not to do if you don't have no resources for them.
Yeah.
If you don't have nothing, if you don't have no suggestion but to know you're not doing it, why are you coming?
Yeah. That's not going.
Why would you come in?
Yeah.
So
That's
if you're
not.
gonna tell me not to be work at a strip club, but you're not telling me how I'm gonna get paid or fix the situation, why are you telling me what to do?
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's
And
that's my
okay, and Jackie, you wanna go for that one as well?
So she wants to learn skills to redirect a
her
Okay.
child's
behavior.
behavior.
Definitely listening, and also you have to be patient with whatever behavior that is. It's patience. It has a lot to do with it. For example, like me with my son who has autism, and when he gets overstimulated or overwhelmed, I'm gonna allow him to feel his feelings before we have a conversation, because he's not going to hear me while he's overstimulated and he's stimming, which is flapping his arms, and he's crying. He's not going to hear me. So spanking in that situation would not work, right?
Right.
It's nothing is going to come out of that. So it really, you have to ensure that when you're talking to them, when you're addressing whatever behavior it is, whatever situation it is, that you are allowing it to be that they're calm and you're calm. Because if you're both frustrated, nothing's gonna come out of that. Nothing at all.
Right.
So I know definitely that has that something. And you said bad behaviors are bad. You said something bad, Jay.
Yeah.
You
The
have
bad behavior.
Yeah, you also have to praise the positive behavior. Don't
Yes.
always just react to the negative behavior,
Exactly.
because you're not giving them their props when it's due. Because
That's good.
they're doing things.
Yes, good, Jackie. I missed that one, Jackie.
I missed that one. That's good, Jackie. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is good.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency along with what Jay and Jackie has recommended, because you want to be consistent. You can't one day say, oh, I'm not going to say nothing to him, and I'm going to let him jump off the fence and off, the couch, and I'm going to let him, play in the water. But then tomorrow it's a big problem, depending on
Right.
how I feel. You have to be consistent.
Right.
When you're talking about re-guidance, it's got to be consistent. Like I said, behavior, the behavior means something. All behavior means something. It doesn't just come from anywhere. And it could be that you do give them more attention, like Jackie said, for their negative behavior. Or it could be like Jay said, you're not listening. It may be something that the child needs to tell you, but it has not been created an opportunity or a safe place. And so out of that, the child has behaviors. So you need to, consistency with it. It's always got to be some kind of consistency. Now, today, this is what we're going to do. I recommend routines. Put your routine in, every day. Have your routine so they'll know what to expect. Because sometimes when you don't know what to expect, that's chaos. It's chaos for me. And for a child, it's chaos. Put a routine in and consistency, and then like the praise for positive. Because
Exactly.
sometimes, yeah, because sometimes kids get more praise for being negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling your mom from school. They get picked up. It might be 5 kids at home. Guess what? That's a good day for them because they get to spend time by themselves with their mama.
Mm-hmm.
You got think of it.
Acknowledge the progress. Acknowledge it. The small things what matters. Only if you know the small things. Because if you willing to fight for your relationship with your children, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're gonna be willing to do it. But the thing is that you gotta also understand. Don't be looking for like a big change, because it's not gonna happen. It's that small. If you call every day and your daughter cuts you off, she cut you off. But you call one day and she kind of let you talk a little bit. That's that small progress I'm talking about. That's that small one. Like, oh, okay. I noticed she kind of listened to me. We getting somewhere. Okay,
Right.
I can do this. I can do this. But if you sitting there and you waiting on a big change, no. That's where she's gonna catch you in your okie doke, or that's where he's gonna catch you in the okie dokes. And you gotta also remember that girls are very emotional. Guys show their feelings by being silent. You know what I'm saying? So if they not saying nothing, letting you talk, it's a problem. You too quiet, you know, because they don't want to hurt mama feelings. They're gonna do whatever mama, that's why their girlfriend like, oh, you a mama's boy. You always doing it. You don't turn this boy into a whole mama's boy. He ain't even no man now. You know what I'm saying? Now he gotta he gotta restructure himself into becoming a man. So you gotta be mindful, because you gotta also know that the way you raising these kids up for somebody else, to send them to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because
Remember that.
that's
You're
right.
sending them to somebody else. And that somebody is somebody else's child.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they become married. That's how they become together. But if you sending them off wrong with attitudes, problems, issues, and baggage, no. Because a lot of times people come into these relationships broken. And that's why their relationship never lasts.
Right.
Because you got to come into this relationship whole, not broken, whole.
Right.
Because no man don't want no 50% woman. He want all woman. He wants somebody that's going to stand beside him. It's going to stand strong. And that's not going to fold up, not going to fall. So you got to be mindful who you built in your child for. You know, at least I can say, hey, when I send my daughter off, she's good. I know she's going to stand behind her man. I know she's going to be right for her partner. But no, not that she got mama issues and daddy issues and she's breaking down and he lift his hand up and she accepting it. No. What's the reason why a woman is actually accepting a man beating on her?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to think about that.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Well, this was amazing, y'all. And I think we touched on a lot. And this was great. But we'll see everyone next Monday at 8. And if you have any questions for us, there's our email, info@onthe-table.com, our Facebook, follow our Facebook page, put it all on the table. There's a dot in each one. Put dot, it dot, all dot, on dot, the dot table. Have a good night.
Share the video.
Yes, share.